And now, ladies and gentlemen, may we turn your attention to the commissioner's box located on the first base end of the Pirates dugout. The Pirates would like to extend a very special welcome to the governor of Pennsylvania, the Honorable Richard Thornburgh, and his wife, Jenny. Governor Thornburgh will present the baseball with a ceremonial first pitch to the wife of the late great Pirates manager Denny Murtaugh, Mrs. Katie Murtaugh. Welcome, Governor and Mrs. Thornburgh, and congratulations on the occasion of your 16th wedding anniversary.
So that's a nice touch. Danny Murtaugh guided the Pirates in 71. As you look at the Pirate lineup tonight, Omar Moreno in center. We mentioned at the top, 1 for 10. Tim Foley, Dave Parker, Bill Robinson back in the cleanup spot, as was the case against Flanagan the other night. Stargell, Madlock, Nicosia, Garner, and Candelaria as the Pirates take the field. Defensively for the Bucks tonight, Bill Robinson, starter in game 1, is in left. Omar Moreno in center field. Covers a lot of ground, of course, with great speed. National League leader in stolen bases, Dave Parker, and you saw exactly what he could do last night as he threw out Eddie Murray at home plate. It was no contest. Bill Madlock, who, when he was with the Giants earlier this season, was at second base. As soon as he was traded over to the Bucks, they put him at third, and he's been there since the deal was consummated. Tim Foley, over, of course, from the Mets in the Frank Taveras deal, cementing the infield. Phil Garner is at second base for the Bucks, and, of course, at first, Willie Stargell. Getting the start back of the plate again with the left-hander McGregor going. Chuck Tanner goes to his right-hand hitting catcher, Steve Nicosia. And on the mound for Pittsburgh, the man they call the Candyman, John Candelaria.
Well, now looking at John Candelaria, there you see his numbers. He won 14, he lost 9. Candelaria, good fastball, good curveball, a good competitor. And as I said before, they're going to be keeping an eye on Candelaria. He is the winningest pitcher in wins on the Pittsburgh staff. But he's had that bad back, he's had the pulled rib cage. There you see the Oriole lineup.
And it's a different lineup tonight for Earl Weaver, with Belanger having started twice, Garcia, and then Benny Ayala will make his first appearance in the series. Singleton, Murray, the sensei batting fifth. Gary Renicky getting the start in center field tonight, with Rich Dower getting his first start at second base. We've seen Billy Smith for games 1 and 2. Rick Dempsey back of the plate, and Scott McGregor on the mound.
Thank you.
We had a lot of rain in Pittsburgh this morning. Howard mentioning it was pouring, and it poured up until about 12:30, so they've had 8 hours to squeegee off the field to try to get it as dry as possible. But one thing, Don, even on a very dry day, even when it hasn't rained in Pittsburgh for 10 days or 2 weeks, it's still probably the fastest surface in the National League.
It is just that, and as you see the two-tone green, and that is out in the center part of the field, it's still a little wet out there. As we watch batting practice, you could see the ball going through, and all of a sudden you'd see that little trail of water trailing the ground balls. It's still going to be a little touchy out there. There's the umpires. Russ Getz of the American League behind the plate, Terry Tata of the National League at first, and so on around. But it's going to be interesting to watch this game, these next 3 games here at Three Rivers Stadium. As I said, it's a different ball game on this artificial surface, and anything can happen. And one of the big things, you've got to watch this speed, and if you're looking at the two clubs, you've got to give that edge, Howard, to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, maybe so. I'm not so sure. They're going to have to prove it on the field. One other thing, there's a stiff wind. And later, when our director, Chet Forty, Shows you the flag. You'll see that wind, and there are swirling wind currents in this enclosed stadium.
So here we go. Candelaria's first pitch was in for a strike to Kiko Garcia. Garcia making his first start. Mark Belanger, the starter in games 1 and 2, though Garcia did see a lot of activity during the regular season. Hit 247. Hit fair by Stargell and down the right field line and into the corner as Dave Parker comes up with it in the corner, and Garcia has a double.
Now, there was a classic example of that ball skidding and not on the base hit. It was a throw by Parker that got by Garner that was backed up by Foley. And Garner, as soon as that ball went by him, he turned around very quickly and he took a double take at that turf out there right behind where he would normally play. It's wet, as we said before, and you still got to take that into consideration.
You're dealing with a lot of professionals here. You can talk all you want about apparent confidence and outspokenness, and we're going to kill them and all of that. But if the Birds should get a few runs in the first inning, suddenly you will see different attitudes appearing.
Well, that's why they're both here, Howard. They both are professional teams. There's a lot of truly great professionals on both clubs.
Benny Ayala, the batter, making his first ever World Series appearance. Ayala getting the start in left field tonight. Takes up and away, ball 1.
Ayala right now is going to be trying to do one thing, or he should be, and that's be trying to move that ball to the right side. He's got to try and advance Garcia to third.
A half swing, and it's in for a strike, and the count is 1-1.
He is a former Met. He is, in point of fact, a most pitchable hitter. His one hitting strength is on the fastball, a little bit inside. At least the scouts say so.
Benny signed by the Mets in '71 and spent part of the 1974 and '76 seasons with them. 2-1 the count.
That little movement right there by Nicosia, that was just a reminder to Candelaria saying, come on, get that hand up, get on top of the ball, don't be dragging that elbow in and slinging that ball up here.
The 2-1 to Ayala is fouled back, and the count is 2-2. Ayala, born and still lives in Puerto Rico. Started the season at Rochester in the International League, the Orioles AAA Farm Club. Hit .355 there in April and was called up at the end of the month. John Candelaria pitched well in the first game of the National League Championship Series, the surprise starter that night against Cincinnati, a game that the Pirates won in extra innings on a home run by Stargell. The 2-2 pitch is hit in the air to shallow center field. Moreno got a late start. It will drop in for a base hit, and Garcia will have to go to third. So the Orioles are runners at first and third. Kiko had to hold up. Moreno was playing Ayala relatively deep and got a very late start.
Garcia wanted to go all the way, but he still wasn't sure. You're still not sure of that speed of Moreno. Can he catch up with that ball? Is the little swirling breeze, as Howard mentioned here at Three River Stadium, is it going to hold it up and enable him to catch up with it? So all he can do is advance 90 feet.
So Baltimore with runners at first and third and nobody out. The Pirate infield at double play depth, and Ken Singleton, the batter, fouls it away. 0-1. Singleton, a switch hitter. Kenny has been consistent over the years from both sides. However, this year he had far greater success batting left-handed. Oh, 2 the count.
Singleton, whether he's batting right-handed or left-handed, that pitch right there, you can be asking for trouble when you get that fastball up and over the plate.
Singleton's a very upset young man, in point of fact, with the bases filled in the bottom half of the 7th last night. Earl Weaver said to me, you talk to Kenny, he'll tell you the truth. He was over-eager as much as he's been around, and swung at a bad third strike and a bad ball for a first strike. And there he just struck out again.
So Ken Singleton down on strikes. Candelaria gets a big out. Here it is again.
That was just a pitch right up over the plate, a breaking pitch, and Singleton actually just swinging through it. You could see that head fly out.
Eddie Murray comes up. Murray is 4 for 5 in the 2 games. Home run last night. Hit .295 during the regular season.
And the great controversy over his cutting off of Singleton's throw in the top of the 9th last night. Eddie has remained substantially aloof from the media people. He feels he did the right thing. He stands on.
High for a ball, and the count 1-0.
Yeah, I agree with him, Howard. As you look at Garcia at third and Ayala at first, I just don't think that ball would have got out. I think it would have been up the line just a little bit as you watch Chuck Tanner pace that Pittsburgh dugout.
I'm not sure I agree with you.
Well, that's what makes it a great game, doesn't it?
Singleton's throw really didn't look like it had that much on it last night. I agree. I think Murray made the right decision. Eddie, like Singleton, a switch hitter. The 1-0 pitch is fouled at the plate, and the count 1-1.
What a lift this would give Candelaria, having struck out Singleton. If he can get by the hottest hitter thus far in the World Series, going at an 800 pace with the 4 or 5 that Al mentioned, this would give Candelaria and the Pirates team a whole additional lift after last night.
A liner to Garner at second, throws to first, not in time there, but they get the second out. So Candelaria has struck out Singleton, gotten Murray to line to Garner. Runner still at first and third, 2 down.
This ball was hit hard, but Ayala really wasn't that far off of the bag at first. He saw the play right in front of him, and he got back just in, I'll say this, just in time. But he's there. Good call.
But the Candyman's on the verge as DeCinces smiles going up there, because now it'll take a base hit to score a run.
Doug DeCinces, 1 for 7. The 1, a home run, his first trip to the plate in game 1. Takes a strike. Kiko Garcia, who led off with a double at third. Benny Ayala with a base hit to center at first. 2 down. The strike 1 pitch. Did he check? Yes. And the count 1-1. Earl Weaver.
I tell you, you can ask him anything, and he'll shoot the answers back at you. He's not afraid of second guessing, as I've said.
2-1. That's exactly what he did last night, right after the game. The first question, why didn't Lowenstein bunt? Earl said, that's our style of play. Out of play, and the count is 2-2. 2 on, 2 out in the top of the first inning. Candelaria trying to work out of a jam. The crescendo building with a full house at Three Rivers. And Candelaria ready for the 2-2 pitch to DeCinces. Fouled away again.
You're going to hear some noise here at Three Rivers. These Pittsburgh fans, they have been around this game of baseball for many, many years. I'll tell you, they can really create a noise.
Time called by the home plate umpire, Russ Getz.
The morning snow had the local radio stations playing Jingle Bells.
The 2-2 delivery. Half swing. Did he come around? Yes. They get the appeal at first base from Terry Tatum. So the Orioles have runners at first and third and squander the opportunity.
Well, he went around, and it was a good call by Tatum because you could see the bat come all the way around.
So after a half inning, it's Baltimore nothing. And the Pittsburgh Pirates coming up. Omar Moreno to lead things off. Omar 0 for 5 in game 1 and then 1 for 5 last night. Hit .282 during the regular season. 1-0 the count.
McGregor's the type of pitcher, he's a little sneaky fast, and through the course of the game, he'll put a little on, he'll take a little off. Got a good breaking pitch, and he's got an excellent move to first base.
Gives you something, takes it away.
That's exactly right.
The 1-1 pitch to Moreno. Low and outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Moreno, Foley, and Parker in the bottom of the first inning after the Orioles had wasted a threat in the top of the inning. Hit into right center for a base hit. Moreno will take the turn and go to second. And is in there easily. Renicky was very deep and had to go to the alley to cut it off. So Moreno with a double.
Well, there's that artificial turf. That ball just a line drive over the second baseman Rich Dower's head as we take another peek at it as McGregor gets the ball over the plate. Good pitch for Moreno to hit. That ball is out, and now it goes up the alley. And what you've got to do here, you'll find the outfielders, they have to round the ball off. It is very tough at times for an outfielder to cut across and really cut it off. You've got to have exceptional speed.
I'll tell you, flatly, Weaver is taking a risk playing Renicky in center field.
He does not have the great speed of Bunbury.
Exactly.
Tim Foley, 2 for 9. The type of situation in which he normally excels of advancing the runner.
There's another thing.
Hawk is called on.
Hawk call.
He started and stopped. And it was the first baseman, Tata, that caught it. He actually started his hands and stopped and looked for another sign. He brought his hands out and then stopped. But right there was the eyes of the first base umpire, Terry Tata, that caught him. And Earl Weaver's going to go out and he wants to check with him very quickly.
But almost invariably, and we stressed it last night, when you fail to capitalize on a big opportunity, the other team immediately comes through on its own. And this is working in process right now.
Watch him here, Barry. There he goes. There he started. Just prior to that, he started and stopped.
Meanwhile, Weaver makes a visit to the mound with Moreno now at third. And nobody out. McGregor, as you can see, pitched very well these last several times out as we once again look at the balk.
There he goes, right there. There it is. That's how he got caught. Exactly. It's a movement of his left hand. He just started his hand in a little bit, and then he just stopped again to double check the sign. And now Weaver, after talking to his pitcher, Scott McGregor, naturally he's going to go to his defense, and he's going to go back over to the first base umpire, Tata, and he's going to tell him exactly what he thinks. Home plate umpire from the American League, that is Russ Getz. He's down there. He has heard the verbal barrage of Earl Weaver many times throughout his career. And it was the first base umpire that called it. He was standing there looking right at it.
Earl, of course, knows he's not going to get them to change anything. What he wants to do is establish position. See that he doesn't get an adverse call again. Remember, it's the National League umpire who made that call.
And he's making his point again. Tata, as he pointed and he turned away, and Tata said, "No, wait a minute, that's exactly the way I call it." And Earl says, "I don't care what you call, I'm going with my man."
As you say, Getz has heard it all before.
Oh, yeah, he's heard it all again. Now let's take another little quick look at it. There it is, right there. That was it. Well, I'll tell you, you had to be looking for it, too. Look at it again. Right there. Could be tough. I mean, right there, whether he was reaching in his glove or not, I don't know. But he might have had a muscle twitch, but that did it.
Tim Foley takes up and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Popped up. Dempsey flipping the mask aside and makes the catch. So 1 down with Marino at third in the bottom of the first inning. And Dave Parker coming up.
He's only gone 5 for 9, Al, so far in the series. He's been absolutely brilliant on defense. While we've had shabby fielding in both games, not so with Dave Parker. Superb catch on Doug DeCinces in the first game. And, of course, the brilliant throw yesterday. He did have a lapse, though, on that short fly.
He said that he did. He says, I just lost my concentration, and he says, I booted it. That's all.
The Orioles will give up a run on a ground ball. First inning, the infield is back. Marino is at third. No score. 1 out. 1-0 the count. Parker with 4 hits off the left-hander Flanagan in game 1. Outfield is deep and straight away. And Parker lines it to center field. Should be deep enough to score a run as Renicky makes the catch and Marino comes in to score. 1-0 Pirates.
Now, he stung this ball. He got it all. And Baltimore can be just lucky that he didn't get it up. He got it out on the end of the bat a little bit, but he hit that ball hard to Renicky.
So the Pirates with 2 down, bases empty, and Bill Robinson the batter. Robinson, a starter Wednesday in the first game against Flanagan, takes a strike.
Point is, the Bucks capitalized, the Birds didn't.
Exactly.
1-0 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the first inning. Bounce foul, and the count is 0-2 on Robinson. Bill, despite being platoon this season, 24 home runs, 75 runs batted in. So Robinson is gone, and so are the Pirates in the bottom of the first, but they pick up a run, a hit. And at the end of 1, it's Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore nothing. Second inning at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. John Candelario working out of trouble after the Orioles had runners at first and third. Harvey Haddix, the pitching coach of the Pirates. Howard Cosell spoke with him before the game.
Harvey, tell me about Candelario, what he throws and how his mental attitude is.
Well, Candy is a fastball pitcher primarily, but he also has a good curveball. He can spot his pitches. He changes speeds on his pitches. He's as good a pitcher as we've got when he's healthy, and he says he's ready to go.
Is he healthy in your opinion?
When he says he's healthy, we go with him. We don't question anymore.
And Candelario said he was healthy enough to pitch in game 1 of the playoffs. A lot of folks were skeptical about that. But Candy was right. Went 7 innings against the Reds, kept the Pirates in the game, and they won it on Stargell's homer. 1-0 Pittsburgh, second inning. Gary Renicky, Rich Dower, and Rick Dempsey. Renicky getting his first start. Renicky wearing the half face mask. He was hit by a pitch the second day of the season. Hits it to left field, into the corner, hooking and going foul.
That's the very spot at Memorial Stadium where Kurt Blefary made an absolutely sensational catch against you guys in '66, remember?
I sure do. You know, Renicky, he'll hit home runs right down that line. And when he hits them, he had a good year for Earl Weaver. He hit 25 home runs. He'll hit them in bunches.
Grounded down to Foley. One away.
The reason Weaver is playing Renicky, of course, last night he said, look, what we really need is Dr. Longball. So Renicky is risked in center. He is a good defensive outfielder, don't misunderstand. But he is not the center fielder that Bunbury is.
Rich Dower at second base tonight after Weaver had gone with Billy Smith in games 1 and 2. Grounded toward the middle, but Foley gets there and gets him. 2 down. So Candelaria, after giving up the double to Garcia, the single by Ayala, has retired 5 in a row, and Dempsey is the batter.
Now, the one thing that you get on the artificial surface, you'll find your infielders, they can afford to play a little bit deeper because the ball's going to get to them quicker, and they can round balls off and cut them off much better.
0-1 the count.
Dempsey's a little bit upset. He feels the manager showed a lack of faith in him as a hitter when he did not order Lowenstein to bunt. Billy Smith then would have been walked, and that would have brought up Dempsey. Beautiful pitch.
0-2 the count on Dempsey with 2 out. Bases empty in the second inning.
That was going back to last night, of course. Key situation in that game. In the bottom of the 8th. Look at that crowd.
Beautiful ballpark. Located near downtown, the confluence of the Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio rivers. Three River Stadium. The 0-2 pitch just missing in the count 1-2.
You also got a quick glimpse of the family. The words inscribed on top of the Bucks dugout. Sister Sledge.
The 1-2 pitch. Bouncer to short, and the whole inning belongs to Tim Foley. So the Orioles are gone in order. Candelaria has set down 6 straight in the middle of the second inning. It's the Pirates 1 and the Orioles nothing. Bottom of the second inning, Scott McGregor working for the Orioles tonight. Earlier, Howard had a chat with his battery mate, Rick Dempsey.
Tell me about Scott McGregor.
Scotty likes to move the ball around. He's really become a major league pitcher over the last year. He changes speeds. He's got a good sinker. He's not overpowering, but he keeps the ball down. He reminds me of the Mickey Lolich of the Tigers from days past.
Sinker is perhaps his best pitch, isn't it?
Definitely his best pitch. You know, he's got a real good one. It sinks a lot when it's working. He's got a great off-speed pitch. He's got a good curveball, and he can throw the ball hard in on your hands when he wants to.
Dempsey discussing McGregor, likening him to Mickey Lolich in Lolich's prime at Detroit. As Stargell, it's a 1-1 pitch by a diving Dower, routing to right center field for a base hit. So here in the second inning, as was the case in the first, the Pirates get the leadoff man on. Stargell with a single to right center.
Now Dower gives it A for effort. He went over. That ball was hit hard by Stargell, but that just got on that carpet and it got by him in a hurry. And then after that, see the water skip up, and after that you could see the water trail the ball all the way out to Renicky.
Stargell at first and nobody out, and Bill Madlock the batter. Madlock hitting .298 this season. Hits it foul outside third. He hit .298 combined with the Giants and the Pirates, but of course the big story was what Madlock did for the Bucks after coming over in the deal.
You see those stats? They were 37 and 34 before Matlock. I cited them last night. And 61 and 30 after Matlock.
Oh, and you think of the youth of Bill Madlock and the kind of player he is and his past history of twice winning the National League batting championship. Boy, that has got to be just what the doctor ordered when you can pick somebody up like that.
The strike one pitch to him is swung on and missed. Really tells you something about the Pirate lineup, too, when you've got a two-time National League batting champion hitting sixth. Just got a piece of it, and Dempsey can't hold on. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes on Madlock. Stargell at first base and nobody out. We're in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Pittsburgh. The strike 2 pitch is inside.
That's the pitch that Rick Dempsey described, Al. How he suddenly becomes fast on the inside and can fool you.
Interesting the way Dempsey likened him to Lolich. So many folks in Baltimore, though, likened him to Dave McNally. Got him looking. Madlock was fooled, and down he goes.
I wasn't looking for that pitch, that's for sure. Well, Lolich owned the 1968 series. Look at this again.
It's a breaking pitch, and Madlock, I think, just caught looking. He won't take too many of those.
I hope not. For his sake.
Steve Nicosia, the rookie catcher, who platoons with Ed Ott. Ott plays against the right-handers. Nicosia was in the lineup against Flanagan on Wednesday. Went 0 for 4 in Game 1. 0-1 the count.
Now, little by little, McGregor is going more to his fastball. You notice?
He has not thrown that many breaking pitches at all, and he has not showed him the off-speed breaking pitch yet.
Another strike, and the count quickly 0-2.
Of course, a lot of that goes, all it is a pitching pattern. We saw Jim Palmer last night do it just perfectly. He went to the hard stuff at the start of the game, the middle of the game, he went to the off-speed stuff. He Stargell at first with Eddie Murray. And that could very well be the case with Scott McGregor tonight.
0-2 pitch is fouled back. I thought it was interesting that Palmer said after the game that he thought initially that he might be able to get the Bucks out with his hard stuff. And he said, I think I might have learned a lesson. They're not going to see as many fastballs the next time around.
That's exactly what he did say, and he is exactly right. McGregor describes himself as a pitcher with on-the-spot adjustment. And he seems to be doing that right here.
Bounce toward the hole and through by a diving Garcia for a base hit. Stargell pulls in at second, so the Pirates have runners at first and second with 1 out in the second inning.
They have the look of a hot club, the Bucks. They really do.
And that was a big game last night for him. As you look, a great effort again by the shortstop Kiko Garcia, but just out of his reach, you see the water squirting up.
Well, that was a seeing eye grounder, and on natural turf would probably have been a double play ball.
Very true, very true. But as I said at the top of the show, Pittsburgh feels very fortunate that they come out of there with a split. And Baltimore, I'm not too happy that they think they should have been here 2-0.
Gardner swings and misses. 0-1.
Don't overlook this guy for the whole sweep of the series. He's 4 out of 6 already. Started out as a goat for the first inning error in the first game that set up the 5-run inning for the Birds. Since then, he's been what he's been all year, Mr. Michaels. Outstanding. Bert Blyleven, the man who held together yesterday, Don.
He pitched a good ball game yesterday. He kept the Pirates right there with him. Of course, he came out in the tie ball game, but he pitched well.
No balls and 2 strikes the count with Stargell at second and Nicosia at first. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Gardner, as Howard said, the error in the first inning of Game 1 that led to the 5-run uprising. And then before the night was done, he picked up 3 hits. Coming up, of course, Game 4 tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. Game 5 Sunday at 4 o'clock. Fouled away again. 0-2.
Garner right on that breaking pitch. He just did miss it. Just waiting to see exactly when McGregor might change his pattern just a little bit and go to that off-speed curveball, because he's got a good one. He's got a variety of pitches, as we said before, and he just mixes up his speed.
0-2 the count. Lined into left center field and up the gap. Stargell will come into Nicosia heading toward third. He is being waved in. The relay from Garcia goes to third, and now they've got Gardner in a rundown, and Phil being run back by Eddie Murray toward third, and the tag is made there for the out, but the Pirates pick up 2 and lead 3-0.
But even in the rundown, those of you who watched closely saw Garner holding up, looking toward home plate, making sure that Nicosia had scored. And this club is alive. Garner, the kind of player you saw him in his 19-game hitting streak, that graphic just a few seconds ago. One of the hottest players in the big leagues.
There's Gary Renicky playing the carom, and now the high throw to the relay man Garcia. He's got the play in front of him. He goes to DeCinces. DeCinces runs Garner back to Eddie Murray, who very alertly is trailing the runner to second base. He flips back to Dower, who makes the tag.
Now we have action beginning in the Birds bullpen. And let me tell you, if McGregor can't do it for them, you're looking at Stewart. If McGregor can't do it for him, this has to be a terrific blow to the Birds. Just terrific.
You saw the Orioles appeal at second base, contending that Nicosia missed the bag on the way to third. Denied as Candelaria loops it into left field for a base hit. Ayala over toward the line to cut it off. So 4 hits in the inning and 5 in an inning and 2/3 off McGregor.
This is not the Scott McGregor who against teams that finished over 500 was 10-2. Not the McGregor you saw last Saturday.
No, he's not, and I'm really amazed, Howard, that he is staying so much with his fastball. As you heard Rick Dempsey, he's not an overpowering type pitcher. He'll try and move the fastball around, but everything so far has been pretty much the same speed. If you throw things pretty much the same speed, your fastball and your breaking pitch, and you're not overpowering or have an exceptional curveball, you have a chance to get yourself in a little bit of trouble. And that is exactly what Scott McGregor's in right now.
Ray Miller back in the dugout. Sammy Stewart throwing in the bullpen. Stewart seemingly has been up in every postseason game, and we have yet to see Sammy. But he's thrown in the pen.
Well, I don't think you're going to see Stanhouse in a hurry.
Not this early.
Not here. We'll be here till game time tomorrow if we see it this early. Omar Moreno at the plate with 2 down, and Candelaria at first base. A strike, 0-1. That rundown on Gardner, interesting. How often do you see the out made at third, and the last 2 men involved in the play are the first baseman and the second baseman? Murray throwing to Dower, covering at the bag.
You're right about that, Al. As you saw a swinging strike, of course the job is to run him back to the base furthest from home and tag him out there.
And of course you've got to give Eddie Murray a lot of credit too, because he was trailing the play. If he doesn't trail the play, there's nobody at second base, and Garner goes back to the bag unmolested.
And when DeCinces had to vacate third, Dower was alert enough to get over there and make the tag. The 0-2 to Marino. Shatters his bat, and the ball trailing the wood. Bounded down to second, where Dower throws him out. Nice play by Rich, fighting off the wood and the ball. The Bucks get 2 in the second. We go to the third. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh. Scott McGregor to lead off as we go to the third inning. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh. McGregor, Garcia, and Ayala. John Candelaria got out of a jam in the first, set the side down in order in the second, up high. McGregor is a switch hitter. That's a rather esoteric factor in a league that employs the designated hitter. But Scott in the minors was a good hitter. A strike. As a matter of fact, at one point, when he was in the Yankee chain at Syracuse and managed by Bobby Cox, he was Cox's top left-handed pinch hitter. Fouled off to the right and back out of play, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
When you open a game, Al, and get runners on first and third, and nobody out, and don't score, it sometimes sets a pattern.
Well, you can get down, I'll say that, but you've got to kick yourself and you got to get back up because you got 8 more whacks at it. Well, they've only got 7 because we're in the top of the third.
2-2 the count.
There again you see Nicosia reminding Candelaria. He'll even remind him while in his warm-ups. Stay on top of that curveball. Don't get lazy out to the side.
He reaches out and hits it into the right field corner and just foul. So the count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on McGregor.
Harvey Haddock's talked about the Candyman's fastball. I haven't seen him use it that much tonight. Have you, Don?
He's not throwing really that hard.
He's only thrown one pitch over 90 miles per hour tonight.
Popped up. Stargell coming over toward the dugout, has a play and makes the catch. So 1 down, 7 straight set down by Candelaria. As you look at Jim Palmer, last night's starting pitcher, and the Birds probably coming back with Jim. You would figure maybe in Game 6, if there is Game 6.
I don't know, but he's got to have a career in Hollywood. Just get rid of the bubble gum and pose.
1 down, Kiko Garcia doubled into the right field corner in the first inning. Kiko, who will be 26 on Sunday, takes up and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. Pittsburgh 3, Baltimore nothing, with 1 out. Bases empty in the top of the 3rd. 2-0 the count.
There again, you could see that arm come under, and Nicosia is going to go out, I believe, and just tell him again instead of reminding him visually. There's the scoring summary that we have so far in the ball game.
The balk, a controversial call. There's the hero last night, Manny Sanguin.
The 2-0 pitch. Missing inside. Ball 3.
Candelaria not too happy with that call.
Three and 1.
And Baltimore just has to get some base runners. They've got to try and peck away. They're not really the type of club that can really play hardball with you.
3-2 the count. Full count on Garcia. Benny Ayala waiting on deck. And he loses him. So Candelaria issues his first walk.
Tell you one thing that's absolutely clear in this series already. How the absence of the designated hitter rule has a really devastating effect on the Birds. This is a game where you could be sure a fellow named Lee May would be in there.
We were talking about that prior to the series, Howard. If you recall, we were talking about it last night after the game back at the hotel. And it's a question, where is Earl Weaver going to play him? And that's the whole thing. And when you have Lee May, you really hate not to have him in the lineup.
Hit foul, 0-1.
I thought he might play Lee May at first and move Eddie Murray back to the outfield and left, keeping Bunbury in center. He elected to go the other way.
Well, they put Renicky out in center field. And actually, it's every other year. The odd year is without the DH, like right now, 1979.
Now, if Candelaria has to be careful of one thing as the rain has begun and the umbrellas come out, well, it's a kind of mixture of rain and snow.
Exactly as predicted. 1-2 the count.
As I said, welcome to the Winter Olympics.
That was the forecast. It rained hard this afternoon, stopped shortly after noon. Weatherman's been saying all day, snow tonight.
Well, as we were flying in here this morning, we flew through some snowstorm.
Good luck, J88. Lynn Swan just popped his head in. This is a city of champions, and they're very proud of it. That's one of the good things that can come from sport. It can uplift an entire city, give them a sense of pride. Certainly true of Baltimore, too.
Candelaria really upset over that call, thought he had him, so the count is full.
Well, we talked last night. Here's where you have to, when you're a pitcher and then you're also a hitter, you've got to establish a strike zone with an umpire. And, of course, both men, they are not familiar with either one. And that is Candelaria to Russ Getz, and Russ Getz with Candelaria.
Well, let me tell you, the one thing the Candyman has to be careful of, based on his record, is the home run ball. That happens to a lot of pitchers with good control.
Hit in the air to deep left center field, exactly as it just said. It's gone.
This has been the history of so many good control pitchers, and Candelaria is one of them. Like Catfish Hunter, Ferguson Jenkins, they gave up a lot of home runs.
Well, he got the pitch up over the plate, and Ayala got it all. And of course, the breeze right now, what we have is blowing to left field. Moreno takes it all the way to the wall, and then, well, I've seen outfielders do that many times. Stand there and say, oh no.
It's 3-2 Pittsburgh as Singleton takes a strike. So Candelaria very upset, thought he had Ayala struck out on a 2-2 pitch. And then Benny hits the 3-2 pitch out. Hit up the middle, base hit for Singleton. So with one out in the inning, the walk to Garcia, the home run by Ayala, and now Singleton with a base hit to center as Eddie Murray comes up.
So the Birds are back in business. A one-run ball game.
First baseman, Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray, 0 for 1, lined out in the first inning.
Boy, that wind's starting to really whistle around here now.
1-0. Wind will swirl in this ballpark. It's interesting right now. We can feel it here and down on the field. You can see a couple of papers blowing around, but the flag is totally limp because it's elevated and protected by the stands. 1-1 the count. You can see the banners flapping in the breeze. There's an opening there in the mezzanine area, and the wind comes in, and there's the flag, which is protected by the upper deck. Don't let that deceive you.
Look at that mixture of rain and snow, Al. We'll recite again, as we did last night, the rain-out rule in a moment. Well, let's do it right now after that foul. If the teams are tied and we go past the 5th inning and the game cannot be continued because of the inclement weather, they have to replay the whole game, and the stats recorded during the contest stand officially and are included in the composite box scores. Of course, if the game is called before we've gone 4.5 innings, this Pittsburgh leading at the moment, being the home team, then forget it. It's automatically no game.
This weather right here, the way we've had in the last few days, we're liable to be here till the spring thaw.
And if we have a delay tonight, we could wait a while because of the artificial surface.
That's right. They can wait much longer here.
1-2 pitch is inside. 2-2 the count.
You can see it's clear and warm in Dallas. That pitch he fired, by the way.
Yes, he did. He threw that pitch very well.
Jackson knows when to get out of town.
Candelaria is not the most happy man in Pittsburgh right now. He's a little hot.
Outside, and that's already the 53rd pitch thrown by Candelaria in 2 1/3 innings.
Yeah, you're liable to see that bell start ringing pretty soon, depending on what he does right here with Murray.
3-2 with 1 out. Chuck Tanner in the Pirate dugout, and we'll keep our eye on Singleton at first, who doesn't go as Murray fouls it away. The Pirates with a run in the first and then 2 in the second. And the Orioles have come back with 2 here in the third on the home run by Ayala. 1 away. Singleton at first. And the 3-2 pitch to Murray is inside, ball 4. The second walk given up by Candelaria. So Chuck Tanner, no doubt now will get somebody up, and you can see Harvey Haddix on the phone to the bullpen.
And that's where it rings, and all of a sudden they stir around, they take the tarp off in the Pirate bullpen, and they will get some quick action.
So the Orioles with runners at first and second, and 1 out. And DeCinces coming up.
Interestingly, that home run was the 3rd for the Birds in the series. Sensei won, Murray won, and now Ayala won. For the Bucks, Mr. Starcher.
The Sensei struck out in the first inning. He's 1 for 8 in the series. 0-1. There is Enrique Romo in the Pirate bullpen.
He's not a short man, but he's got that squat kind of body. Stocky, broad all through.
Oh, and 2 the count.
Rain coming down harder right now and starting to blow in sheets of rain around. You see Chuck Tanner kind of looking up.
I love Indian summer.
Somewhere it's Indian summer, but not here. And it's raining hard now. You know, the Commissioner Bowie Kuhn is saying, why, oh, why, oh, why? And I don't believe they're going to stop this pretty soon and put a tarp on.
Hit in the air to shallow left field. Robinson coming on and makes a catch. So 2 down with 2 on, and Renicky coming up. As you look at the
the commissioner, no raincoat, a hat, and he is acceded apparently to popular demand. He's toying with the notion of an umbrella.
Center fielder Gary Renicky.
Man of steel, a man of courage, with the fortitude to postpone a game in the face of a monsoon. Edward Bennett Williams' words about Bowie. Here's a guy who can hit it out on you in a hurry.
Renicky hit 25 homers this season. 0-1 the count.
You know, you said earlier this Baltimore team, Don, isn't the kind to. Well, the raincoat now goes on. Interesting. He surrendered to meteorology.
Here's the strike 1 pitch. Swung on, bounced sharply by Madlock and out into left field. They are waving Singleton in, and the throw is. Did he get him? Yes. Steve Nicosia came out to take the throw from Robinson, and the inning is over.
I tell you, Singleton made that play possible by Robinson. It deserves all the credit in the world. Watch Kenny here. Kind of slowed up just before getting to third. He was. Hey, interesting, isn't it, to look at it? But the umpire was right on that play. The point I was going to make was I didn't think Kenny was getting good footing.
No, he wasn't. He did not run well at all. As a matter of fact, Robinson had the ball when he was before he even got to third base. That ball got out to Robinson in a hurry. And you know, any kind of throw at all, he's going to be a dead duck.
In the inning, the Orioles get a couple on the homer by Ayala. In the middle of the third, Pittsburgh 3 and Baltimore 2.
And we're ready for action to resume. And I must say, the field in surprisingly good shape. Al?
Ground crew did a great job as Foley leads off in the bottom of the third inning and looks at a strike. Foley, Parker, and Robinson. The Pirates got a run in the first and 2 in the second. The Orioles 2 in the top of the third. Popped in the air, shallow center field. And he's gone.
You saw him splash just a little bit, didn't you, Don?
Well, you're going to see water out there, Howard. That dark green square out there in the middle of the field, that seems to be part of the turf here that holds more water than anything. And that's where we've noticed a lot of the water, as you see it right there on your screen. That's where we've seen the tail, the rooster tail, come up behind the balls going out there.
By the way, you saw the back of the center fielder, Renicky. It was not an optical illusion. He has started tonight in center. Ayala in left. The Ayala move has already paid off with the 2-run homer. Bunbury has been benched against the left-hander.
Dave Parker looks at a strike. 0-1 the count. The Cobra. Hit a sacrifice fly in the first inning to drive in Marino with the Bucks' first run. The strike 1 pitch to him was popped foul back out of play, and the count is 0-2.
Weaver's a hero in a hurry when an Ayala hits a 2-run homer for you. There are no second guesses then, right, Don?
No, not really, not at all. I said before that Earl's a percentage manager. He's a hunch manager. He proved that last night.
He says, my game's a simple game. It's not like that X's and O's stuff in football. He should know how simple football is.
The 0-2 pitch to Parker. Backs him off. 1-2 the count. The rain delay was 1 hour, 7 minutes. The 1-2 pitch. Did he check in time? They appeal. Strike 3.
Dave
Called
knew
out
it.
by Runge.
You can see from his reaction, he absolutely knew it.
And Howard, you're perfectly right, because he did go around. He tried to hold up, but he just could not. And the appeal play.
Look at that.
That's right.
But Dave walked right across the plate, ready to leave. He knew it.
Bill Robinson struck out in the first inning. McGregor has struck out 3. Turned it over, 0-1.
McGregor is liable to come back the way that his ball will tail and the way it will sink. He might have a little better fastball right now.
0-2 the count.
When I say better, I don't mean velocity-wise, but movement-wise.
I understand. Furthermore, he has had a chance to talk in length with Earl Weaver, whom you can be sure dissected what he was doing wrong.
Line to left field. Ayala's there, having trouble with it, and has to short hop it. It's a base hit.
There's no question he misplayed the ball. He should have had it. He had plenty of time to come in that one step on it. He misjudged it.
Well, Earl Weaver looking out there, and he said, well, now what are you going to do? I know he's not my best outfielder, but this is what you call circling a ball. And that's exactly what he did. He moved over. And now he starts to circle, and now the ball's sinking on him, and he just can't pick up any acceleration whatsoever. Look at that ball splash. He's lucky that he came up with a ball. That ball could have skidded on him, and that's what you're going to see a little bit now that this field is wetter than what it was when we started the game.
Stargell the batter. Willie 1 for 1. Moved to first base. Murray was starting to come in toward the mound. And Robinson gets back. McGregor has a great move. It's very difficult to get a jump on him. Robinson with a short lead, and Stargell hits it foul into the seats back at first. 0-1.
Again, that low ball to Starch. You can invite disaster with that. We've told you how he golfs them out of sight.
Another strike, 0-2. 2 out in the bottom of the third inning. Robinson at first base. Chuck Tanner. Robinson held on by Murray. And down goes Stargell.
Did you see Dempsey's position there, Don? We'll get into that next inning, Al.
Stargell becomes McGregor's 4th strikeout victim. Go to the 4th, 3-2 Bucks.
Now watch Candelaria closely, folks. This is a man who has thrown 60 pitches in 3 innings. There are only so many pitches in any human arm in any game, on average, on balance.
Candelaria to face the bottom of the order. Rich Dower, Rick Dempsey, Scott McGregor. 3-2 Pirates, top of the 4th. Dower grounded out his first trip. 1-0. Hit into left center field. That's a base hit and maybe more. Moreno over to try to cut it off and can't. Robinson plays it on the track. And Dower moves in at second with a double.
Well, that's what I talked about. Watch that ball scoot on that wet turf. Now that ball, if that turf is dry, that ball might bounce up a little bit. Moreno's able to get a glove on it and hold it to a long single.
Now you know, as you look at it again, why Dower was openly miffed that he hadn't been used in the first 2 games. He's in there now against a left-hander, but he had been hitting right-handers better and better during the course of the season, the best in the league, like Nolan Ryan. And he felt he was being not only overlooked, but in a sense, shown a lack of respect for his talent.
Dempsey fouls it away, and the count is 0-1.
Now Dempsey's in the same position right here. The leadoff double, trying to get Dower to third if he can.
That last pitch was 89 miles per hour, which is reasonably good speed. He's only thrown one pitch over 90 miles per hour. That was a beauty, that curve.
Brought it from the outside in.
No balls and 2 strikes to count on Dempsey. The pitcher, McGregor, next. Dower at second.
Got Rick in the hole.
One and 2.
When I talk about bringing that curveball from the outside in, there was a master at that, and his name was Sal Magley. And what it does, you look at Dower at second base, you start the curveball outside. Now, Magley's case being a right-hander to the left-hand hitter, and then all of a sudden they will give up on that pitch. And you just kind of nip that outside corner. But if you've got control and you know what you're doing with that ball with good command, boy, that's a great pitch.
You know what interests me, Don? His job, as you said, to advance that runner. One of the key subtle skills of the game. Rick pulled that ball, hit in front of the runner.
Now, right now, with the count 1 and 2, trying to just protect himself anyway.
And Candelaria works him inside, up and in. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dempsey.
Now he's thrown 67 pitches.
The 2-2.
He did it.
Field for a base hit. They will hold Dower at third as the throw comes all the way into the coaster. No sense gambling with nobody out. A chance for a big inning. So Cal Ripken had the stop sign out for Dower.
Well, Dower didn't break real quick anyway because he had to make sure that that ball was not that close to Garner. See Dempsey taking that ball well to the right side. And they also have already been stung by the arm.
That's the point.
That was last night. They've been stung tonight by the arm of Robinson throwing out Singleton, and that ended the third. And as you said, there's no need taking a chance now. Nobody out, and Chuck Tanner just wants to have a little conversation.
It's the second time in the game because the Birds opened with a double and a single and men on first and third in the first inning. Romo is warming up rapidly in the Bucks bullpen, and the Birds failed to capitalize, which could still be a key element in this game. Now in the same situation, they know they must capitalize, but they've got the pitcher up.
Going to be interesting to see how Earl Weaver will play this. You've got runners at first and third. You've got Madlock in at third inside the bag. Stargell holding the runner at first. Will they let him hit away, or maybe they might sacrifice?
Scott McGregor takes inside, ball 1.
And right there, he was going to be hitting away all the time. Sacrificing, you just give up and out, but you put 2 men in scoring position.
Bouncer to short, the runner holding at third, and Foley throws to first too late. Tim had no play at all, and Dower was holding at third all the way with Foley initially in double play depth position. So they're loaded with nobody out.
Well, Timmy ran himself into an error right here. He didn't have to make the play that hard. He made it into a short hop. You see the ball scoot on him, comes up. You saw the water bounce. Now he's got no play. He looks at third. And I'll tell you one thing, McGregor went down that line pretty good.
He sure did, hitting from the right-hand side. Looking back at those Bucks outfielders, Al, they're looking more and more like those young guys of the Montreal Expos who throw so brilliantly. People like Dawson and Valentine.
Loaded up with nobody out, Chico Garcia has doubled and walked. Again, the infield double play depth at short and second as it's drilled foul. 0-1.
If the Bucks can get out of this, it has to have just a dampening effect on the Birds ball club, but they do never quit.
I really don't believe that Candelaria has really found out the strike zone of home plate umpire Russ Getz tonight.
0-2 the count.
He's getting a lot of pitches up, and when Candelaria is right, he doesn't throw that many pitches up. He's got a good sinking fastball.
But quickly, he's got Kiko, who's an underrated hitter, 0-2. So he's got 3-4 pitches to work on the guy.
Fouled away again.
You can see by the glove movement of Nicosia, there's a man sitting back like he's ahead 18-2. Earl Weaver.
Not really. He's thinking of last night. That's what he's thinking of.
Nicosia keeps having that glove thing. Get it down, get it down, get it down. And all he's trying to do is remind Candelaria to remember to try and keep the ball down.
One and two the count. Still up. So Candelaria with the bases loaded. Nobody out. The Pirates on top 3-2.
In 3 innings, Candelaria has thrown 74 pitches.
Line into right center field, and that one is up the gap and all the way to the wall as Dower comes in to score. Dempsey comes in to score. They are waving McGregor in. The throw will go to third. It's a 3-run triple.
As I said, I would not have brought Candelaria out again, and Lasorda of Norristown was right.
Well, here comes Chuck Tanner, and that's going to be all for Candelaria. The pitch, not a good pitch, up over the plate. Garcia hit it. Now watch that ball scoop. When it hits that water, that's all she wrote. It's going to have to go all the way to the wall. McGregor, just a question of whether he could make it all the way around from first. He was kind of tippy-toeing around third, but he scored easily. And all of a sudden, the Orioles, they are 5 on top.
So Romo comes in from the bullpen. 5-3 Baltimore in the 4th inning. And now Weaver goes to his bench with the right-hander on in relief. Al Bumbry will hit for Benny Ayala. All Ayala did tonight was single and homer.
But he's doing it for 2 reasons. First, the uncertain condition of the field, and he wants maximum defensive effort in there. So he wants Bumbry back in there.
That's right. And the second reason, a right-hander against a left-hander.
That's it. Pure percentage.
Nobody out. Garcia at third. Then look out. Al Bumbry hit by the first pitch from Enrique Romo.
That hurt. You can say on a damp night like this how it must sting.
Well, he wants to work him inside. You see where Nicosia is. He hits him right in the numbers.
Ralph Salvon, the trainer, along with Weaver, checking on Bumbry. The Pirates picked up a run in the first inning when Omar Moreno doubled, was walked to third, and scored on a sacrifice fly by Dave Parker. Phil Garner drove in 2 in the bottom of the second with a double to make it 3-0. But Benny Ayala hit a 2-run homer in the top of the third to make it 3-2. Then we had a 1-hour, 7-minute rain delay. The Pirates did not score after the resumption of play in the bottom of the third, and here in the top of the 4th inning, the bases loaded and nobody out, and Kiko Garcia triples to right center. Al Bumbry has just been hit by a pitch, and the batter is Ken Singleton with nobody out.
Singleton, a man who wants desperately to come through. He had that unfortunate strikeout by his own admission, going after bad pitches in the bottom of the 7th yesterday. Tonight he was thrown out at home. Was not running well at all. On a single to left field, Bill Robinson threw him out.
Ground ball by Garner and out into center field. That scores Garcia. Bumbry is on his way to third. He's in there, and it's 6-3. So Ken Singleton, after striking out with 2 on and nobody out in the first, picks up a base hit in the third, and now a run-scoring single here in the 4th.
Well, that ball got through the infield in a hurry. Singleton hit it hard. That ball really scooting through that infield. You see Garner a good try, but no chance, and Bumbry going all the way. Look at that rooster tail coming behind that. That outfield's still plenty wet, guys.
This is the first Pirate reliever, Enrique Romo, because we've talked unremittingly about the brilliance of the Pirate bullpen, who's given up a key hit and accordingly a run.
Now Dave Roberts, a left-hander, throwing down in the bullpen right now.
Eddie Murray at the plate. There's Roberts, acquired along with Madlock in the deal with San Francisco in June. Murray is lined out and walked. Change is hit in the air to right field toward the line. Parker circles underneath it and makes the catch, and they will hold Bumbry at third. They learned their lesson.
I'll tell you, Romo was lucky on that. Murray just hit under it. That was a pitch he might very well have deposited in the seats, Don.
He did. That's right, Howard. He hit it. He got it out on the end of the bat a little bit, too.
Give it a quarter of an inch.
There it is again. You can take a look at it.
Even Parker is human, by the way. He threw up the line on this one, but such is the respect for him now that they wouldn't chance sending the runner from third home. Bumber.
That's the first out of the inning. Runners at first and third. Infield double play depth. 6-3 Baltimore. DeCinces has struck out and fly to left. He is 1 for 9 in the series. 0-1. Bunbury at third. Singleton at first. Breaking pitch, and he lays off it. 1-1 the count. Chuck Tanner managing his third club. Tanner started with the White Sox and spent a year with Charlie Finley in Oakland. But this is where he always wanted to wind up because he's from Newcastle, about 50 miles up the road. Two and one.
Sensei following that pitch, tempted, holding back. Wants desperately to get that sixth Baltimore run in. Just as desperately, the Bucks want the seventh Baltimore run in. Correction. And just as desperately, Tanner wants it kept away.
Down into short to Garner one, and then by Sargent. And the Orioles get another and lead it 7-3.
Well, I'll guarantee you there's a case of a wet ball toss right there.
No question.
That ball hitting on that wet surface. You see Foley taking very cautiously. He's underhanding it. Garner coming down from the side, trying to get Singleton down, and then all of a sudden, no way. It just squirts on out.
Willie never had a chance.
Center fielder, Gary Renicky.
7-3 Orioles with 2 down now, and Gary Renicky the batter. As the Orioles have hit around in the inning. Renicky the 9th man to come up. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Inside.
Excuse me, Al. Renicky will move to left. Bunbury will go to center, and Weaver will now, with his present lead of 4 runs, have his best defensive outfield in there, Don.
That's exactly right. He'll just pray for a little leather. Guarantee you, Earl Weaver would like to see every ball hit in the air from here on out. Because anything can happen with that ball hit on that wet carpet.
You bet. It was slick well before game time tonight. 2-0 the count. Renicky wearing that mask as a result of getting hit the second day of the season by Larry LeGros, who was in with the White Sox. But Gary came back. He is prone to getting hit by a lot of pitches, and he has certainly not shied off any since he was hit in the cheek. See the way he crowds the plate. Good one.
Renicky, a little unusual bat style. You can see that hands way down. And Romo comes up and he makes a good pitch on him. And there's a case where Renicky had the count in his favor, 2 balls and no strikes. He's looking for a pitch in his location. If it's not, he's going to take it.
2-2. Renicky this season hit by pitches 12 times. Essentially the runner at first with 2 down. Only Chet Lemon of the White Sox was hit by pitches more than Renicky. Lemon got one 13 times. 2-2 with 2 down. And it gets away from Nicosia, and down to second goes the Sensei. Only one run in this inning charged to Romo. Candelaria giving up 6 runs and 8 hits in 3+ innings. That scored as a wild pitch to move the Sensei along, and the count is now 3-2. Rich Dower is on deck. He's the man who got things started off Candelaria with a double. Hit down the line and curling foul. Back out of play. 3-2. Every seat, of course, sold in Pittsburgh, and as we look around, not too many decided to go home.
But some did. It's only fair to point it out. Up in the upper left field deck.
Down goes Renicky. So the inning is over, but the Orioles send 9 men to the plate, come up with 5 here in the 4th, and in the middle of the 4th, it is 7-3 Baltimore.
This is not the old drivel. Stick with us. This is still a ball game. Because the latter statement is the absolute truth. The Bucks have proved it throughout the entire year. No team in the National League has had equivalent comeback capacity.
Hit to right. Singleton is there. 1 down. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Nicosia singled in the 2nd inning and came in to score on Garner's double.
I must say, McGregor has looked like a different pitcher since the rain delay, Don.
He really has, Howard. We pointed that out last inning. He's throwing well.
Hit deep to right field, but Singleton has room. Kenny back near the edge of the track. 2 down.
You have to wonder what Weaver told him during that rain delay.
Well, he might have had a chance just to collect his own thoughts, too. Scott's been around. He's a fine young pitcher.
Here's Phil Garner coming up, who's had a spotty series. He's hitting 5 out of 7, had a 2-run double. Yet he has made 2 critical errors. One in the inning that we just went through, and the Birds' turn at bat, and of course, crap iron Garner. It's a good sign. And of course, that key error in the 1st inning of the 1st game.
Low for a ball. 1-0 the count. 1-1 on Garner.
It's too bad to see the World Series played under such difficult weather conditions, but it must be. There are those in print.
Grounded down to Garcia at short. And that's that. So McGregor sailing along after the delay. And we'll go to the 5th inning in Game 3 with Baltimore out in front, 7-3. Through 4 in Pittsburgh, 7 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Orioles. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Pirates. Enrique Romo on in relief of John Candelaria. The series even at a game apiece, and we go to the 5th inning with more play-by-play, Don Drysdale.
All right, Al, it'll be Rich Dower, Rick Dempsey, and Scott McGregor, the bottom 3 in the Baltimore lineup. Dower 1 for 2. He led off the 4th inning and started everything with a double up the alley left center field.
Seems to me there's a subtle difference in this